Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about Cardano and I'm going to show you with some data points that why I think Cardano has zero adoption and actually will have no future. I've been in this space for more than 6 years and been building things and watching people build things. And Cardano is one of the project who is almost has hype but actually didn't deliver anything. So um, in 2017 2018 when crypto was at its peak, Charles was created few videos around Web3 narratives. Actually, he's one of the person who popularized the thing word called Web3. And he created a dream for people that they will have a better Ethereum. And it's been 6 years and almost zero adoption. They have delivered a blockchain which have a lot of problem. They're always scaling up, doing new release, but actually nobody is using it. In this video, I'm going to show you some stats and also tell you some context which will help you to understand what's going on. So, this is a tweet from Charles, who is a Cardano founder in 2020, July 2020. You can see that he tweeted that this time next year, I predict there will be hundreds of assets running on Cardano, thousands of dApps, tons of interesting project, lot of unique use and utility. But actually it's been 2 years since now and almost there is no adoption. You won't find a very single dApp where you can use it for proper thing, for example lending, borrowing, or anything which is almost been on Ethereum from like last 3 4 5 years. So as you can see that this is Cardano's one of the ecosystem map sort of things where you see a lot of projects, but a lot of these projects are actually doesn't have a lot of meaning. One of the thing you can see, it's because you try to find analytics or data around adoption of Cardano or it's a dApps built on top of it, and you'll find very problem to find very meaningful data around what's going on with Cardano dApps. One of the most important thing in Cardano is like its dexes. I'm going to talk about little bit later because dexes are the most important apps, and I'm going to show you how there is no adoption for their dexes also. This is average stats. You can see delegators, total delegators, number of wallets, total wallets. It says 3.6 million wallets, but actually it doesn't matter anything because many time exchanges and other creates a lot of wallets, and there are wallets created by many other things by testing, scripting. This doesn't matter a lot thing, and there are more than hundreds of millions of wallets on blockchains like Ethereum, Tron, and there are other Polygon sort of those things. You see number of wallets per day, it's around, you see around only 1200 to 1500 wallets per day it's getting created, which is nothing most probably when you'd say. And if you see total number of logged value, actually I don't believe TLV, which is total logged value, means anything. But even though that's a very vanity matrix, even though that is very low for ADA, it's around 65 million USD. If you see total transactions also, I have that matrix. If you see total transaction on Cardano, it's less than, it's around 50,000, 60,000, and it fluctuates a lot, which which makes things that there is no proper demand for Cardano block size, Cardano blocks. That's why this demand fluctuates a lot, even though there is a lot of capacity, but there is no demand actually. And if you see, for example, Ethereum, it has very constant demand, you can see, right? And it has it, even though it's a very high fee sort of network, people are using it and there are almost 1.1 million transaction every day. And even the Cardano, which is like high throughput, transaction speed, a blockchain is there's on around 60,000, 70,000 transactions per day. When you see other matrices, which is one of the important matrices, number of smart contracts built every day, it's almost around 510, 510. That's it. And this is like minting is mostly NFT minting, which is good amount, but even though that's not a huge. But even if you see like normal smart contracts, it's like 2 3 2 3 4 5. It's like just people are just testing the network. There are more smart contracts get deployed on different test net for different network than Cardano's mainnet. So it's very disappointing to see this matrix. I'll attach all these things in the description. Now, if you see this, this is the one of the major thing I find, like these are dApps analytics around different dApps or top dApps on Cardano. One of the major dApps on blockchains today are NFT marketplaces and DEXs. DEXs are very good to see how's the growth in terms of any blockchain, because Uniswap was the first deck who actually took off as a dApp on Ethereum and actually helped Ethereum for, or actually showed people how can a dApp can succeed, because uh, Uniswap, even though in this market, does around $4 to $5 billion every day. So it's pretty interesting to see that how dexes are performing on different blockchain. And if you see in Cardano, you see that Sunday Swap, which was the biggest app, I think Min Swap is now the biggest one. Min Swap is currently doing around less than a million. This is the total two. These are two dexes volume, Min Swap and Riders. It is less than last 12 hours, last 24 hours. They did less than 1 million. Two dexes, like one, and that include, I guess, one of the biggest dex on the Cardano, where you can see on Ethereum. This is Minswap, who did around 700,000 trading volume last 24 hours. And I guess if you see Uniswap does a lot. Uh, Uniswap volume was last 24-hour volume was around $513 million, which is like around $500 million. Even though BSC's pancake is doing around 157, even though in this market, Dodo 93 and like Car 52, and it's less than 1 billion. If you see this, the it that it is shocking to see that Cardano's dexes are not even at top 50. If you see on DeFi Llama, they are not at top 50. MinSwap at 50. You see, this is on Cardano. So it's interesting to see that the dexes, which are one of the major thing when to see the adoption, you see they don't have a volume on Cardano. Yes, and so let's go next. There's a marketplace who's doing this 6.3 million transactions. I didn't dig into a lot in this marketplace, but this has good experience. But even though this has doesn't have unique account, if you see that this marketplace have 113 around 13,000 unique accounts, so at max it will have these many users, which is good, but actually it's not good when when you compare it with other blockchains. Very small, even though OpenSea and like smart, even OpenSea pretty big, even though you see other smaller Magic Eden sort of these things looks rare, even though they have good amount of unique accounts. And if you see this, there are 12.7 million total transactions. I guess this is the total. And you see there's only 2 to 4k, around less than 250,000 unique accounts, and top 44 dexes, dapps basically. It shows like how a small number of people are using Cardano. It's not as big, and at least it doesn't justify Cardano's market cap. There are a lot of very good blockchain with very good adoption, and you can see in terms of dexes list on DeFi Llama that if you see the top dexes are from BSC, from usually Ethereum, BSC, and recently you see Arbitrum, Phantom. These sort of chains are getting up, and there's no way Cardano is nowhere near, and they still keep saying that they are. So recently they released Hydra, which is going to increase their transaction per speed per second, which is a vanity matrix, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much transaction per second you have if people are not using you. People say that Cardano is very decentralized, around 3,000 staking pools. We don't know how many people. One staking pool is actually one node, so we don't know how many people actually owns this node, their single enterprise might be owning many nodes, sort of those things. So that's also not very clear that these are 300,000 different people. Even though in case of Sunday swap, I already talked about, people talked about a lot about trading data. Cardano's trading data doesn't matter, because in crypto trading data doesn't matter. Like, people are dumb, they trade anything. They're trading things which mostly they don't understand. So that's the truth. Like, trading data doesn't matter. People talk about GitHub activity. Actually, Cardano is one of the most GitHub active project, but it doesn't matter because it's very subjective. It doesn't matter. You can be have a develop a lot of things, but nobody might be using them. Even though there was a bridge launched by in April by SingularityNet, I don't know what's going the status about it. It has only one swap, which their own token, ERC token. It's basically ERC20 token swap on with Cardano's tokens, native tokens, but there's almost no stats. I don't know how many people are using it. So you can see, even though you can see this whole metrics that Cardano has tweeted this one. You see a lot of tools, but when you go and dig in these tools, you will see that actually they added Cardano Stack API 3. They are these are very blockchain agnostic project, and most of the time they add Cardano because there's very small demand, and many times they are might themselves are very interested in this. So you can see there's not many, even though there you don't see a big infrastructure product supporting them mostly. So that's also one of the problem. And you see a lot of projects here, you go and dig deep and you see there's almost no adoption. You don't see a lot of people using those, even though you find very new projects here. That's also one of the thing. And one of the major thing is, like, when you see a project, a good adoption, if you see a good adoption, the first thing people look for is data. At least a good people look for data. And almost in terms of data, it's not in terms of dapps data, there's not very clear data around Cardano's dapps or ecosystem. I think Cardano is very hyped project. It's been 6 years. Cardano's trying to deliver things or having adoption, calling like Ethereum killer and sort of those things. I don't think Cardano will deliver anything or meaningful or have a meaningful adoption. They actually delivered a blockchain which have certain problems, because when they launch Sunday Swap, they have a small block size. They are going to increase small block size. They told everybody that they are doing a lot of research, but Sunday Swap, when it launched, you saw like it had a lot of problems. So even though after these many research, they didn't get it right. And one more important thing is, like, in it's 6 years is a lot of time. Ethereum having adoption and at the same time trying to deliver things, and it is slow, but it is delivering things, or at least it has adoption, good adoption, even though there are a lot of good alternatives. But still, people are using Ethereum, and all the most of the experiments on new projects comes on Ethereum continuously and not on other chains. If Cardano doesn't have anything really in last 6 years, they just created hype. Their foundation, Imerco, they sell courses to people to learn blockchains, and I don't find any. And even though if you search Google or try to find a lot of resources, one of the major thing is when some technology comes up, a lot of people who try it and start writing about them, and you don't find a lot of resources around Cardano development. Very few. So that's also a sign that not lot many people are developing on top of it. So if you have anything good as stats, you can comment on. You can put on the comments. I'll check on it. But for now, I think Cardano is it's not a very hopeful future, at least. Thank you for watching this video.